certainly he investigated in the novels, for example, the prospect of that kind of dissolution. But one is always reminded, at least in the space of a novel, that we are inside one psychic reality. So the dissolution never breaks out, as it were. Does it in the exegesis? I don't know. I think he rather submits himself to a testing regimen that is engaged in exploring a new liminal terrain between a great many categories, like religion and philosophy or what have you. And he has to, at a good clip, consider many competing notions of subjectivity, reality, and so on, what is human, at a faster clip even than in his novels. And that's because, like someone going to the New World, he had his encyclopedia in his suitcase. I mean, this is a man going through the Encyclopedia of Philosophy and the Britannica, reading possibly high level, but paraphrases that are made compact, transportable, and useful for the business of pioneering. I mean, there'd be no New World without the French encyclopedias.
So maybe very briefly, we should say that Philip K. Dick is very often seen as a sort of philosophizing sort of author, but actually he reads, as you mentioned there, most philosophical authors, and he mentions a lot of them, not directly, but through encyclopedic entries. So in some ways, it's kind of similar to us looking up Wikipedia articles today and sort of linking from one to the other, especially then in the exegesis. And a lot of his sort of philosophizing there is based on that. Erik Davis once called him sort of a sort of garage philosopher, really. Do you want to say a bit more about this?
Yeah, only that I completely agree, and this idea of the way he uses ideas or snippets or fragments of thought in sort of compact forms, not only compact forms, but sometimes unrecognizable to someone who's read, the Hegelian text or the Whiteheadian text or the Jung that he's talking about. Not so much Jung, because he did read Jung quite closely when he was younger, but these things he gets from the encyclopedias, you do get. I mean, I wrote about this somewhere, that you get the sense he's almost making collages. He's sticking them together and rearranging them and seeing how they fit. And we talked a bit about surrealism earlier, and there are times when he says it's like making Dadaist assemblages, or and you get that sense also with the whole exegesis itself. Pamela Jackson, the editor, talks about how he spent a long time rearranging the order of the pages and switching them around, or copying out whole paragraphs from the encyclopedias and then switching them about. And I think in this sense, he is creating a kind of information network that he wants to be a bit more dynamic. He wants it to be something that he could call alive. So he's producing Valis in fabulated ways and psychotic ways, and also in very literal sort of media ecological ways, through the exegesis in all sorts of ways.